After Knull invaded Earth and flooded the skies with symbiote dragons, he quickly corrupted most of the planet's heroes using his living symbiotes. All the cities were collapsing into darkness and chaos spread everywhere. In the middle of this, Eddie Brock flatlined right in front of the remaining heroes. Meanwhile, across the battlefield, Storm and Blade were fighting the waves of symbiotes with the help of Blade's vampire army, but they were getting overwhelmed by these symbiotes. And soon they realized that the situation was out of their hands, so they eventually contacted Reed Richards for backup. Back at the safe zone, Dylan Brock was given a moment to handle his father's death, and that's when something inside him snapped. His eyes turned completely black, his tears became blood, and in his pain he whispered that he wanted to hurt something. Fueled by raw rage and power, Dylan stormed into the war zone, but as he rushed into the battlefield, he was suddenly stopped by a symbiote-corrupted Captain America. Steve Rogers threw his shield directly at Dylan, but in one smooth motion Dylan caught it midair, and in a surge of raw energy, he obliterated the symbiote clinging to Cap's body. The shockwave of power was so massive that it instantly caught Knull's attention. Knull tried to grab Dylan with a massive symbiote hand by reaching down from the sky itself. But before he could close his grip, a strong bolt of thunder struck his hand, making a hole in it. Thor finally entered the war, descending from the skies like a storm. Now armed with both the Odin Force and the power cosmic, Thor was at his absolute peak of power. Thor landed straight into the battlefield and immediately stood beside Dylan. Together he and Dylan fought back to back, tearing through hordes of Knull's symbiote army with pure rage and lightning. By seeing this, Knull got angered beyond control and left his throne and came down to face Thor directly. Knull and Thor both engaged in a brutal fight. The clash between them was violent and devastating. Each blow from Thor cracked the ground beneath them, while Knull countered with shadows and pure hatred. Neither side was backing down. But then, in a sudden moment of fury, Thor broke through Knull's guard and landed a jaw-shattering punch with Mjolnir, literally knocking Knull's jaw off with one cosmic-infused strike. But that moment of victory didn't last long. Because of this attack, Knull got seriously pissed off, and that's when he finally reached into his own chest and pulled out the all-black Necrosword, which was the first symbiote weapon in his existence. Meanwhile, Thor got distracted by the movement of symbiotic celestials. That's when Knull drives his Necrosword straight through Thor's back and out his chest. Thor gasped in shock. The pain overwhelmed him, and he collapsed to the ground, barely breathing, and was left behind by Knull like he was nothing. With Thor down, Reed Richards told Tony Stark that they had no choice and now they need to fall back. There was no way to survive against two symbiote-controlled Celestials without Thor. But Tony wasn't done yet. Using his extremist tech, he hijacked a symbiote dragon and then used it to take control of one of the Celestials. While chaos raged across the sky, Dylan was being overwhelmed by the Hive again, as Knull whispered that he was Dylan's only family now. But just as all hope seemed to vanish, Thor, still barely alive, summoned his ravens, which called the Silver Surfer into the battle. And that's where the issue finally ended, on one of the most powerful cliffhangers Marvel has ever written. Comment down if Thor will recover from this, or will he lose this battle for today.